So is it okay to hashtag best mom ever to your mom when you married and your wife have kids? You and your wife have kids? I don't know, man. Would that put you in the doghouse?
Nah, I think you can. I think it's sneaky, but you're right. If you examine and look closely, like,
Hey,
wait
a minute.
It might be something to talk about, but
Yeah.
I could see slide it. Would you slide that, James? Would you slide that?
I don't know. I think I'm going to end it with best mom I could ever ask for. Something to kind of get me out of twist. I don't want to be stuck trying to explain myself later.
Man, Solomon should have wrote something about this, man.
That would have helped us.
Would have helped us a whole lot.
Use some of that wisdom for that. If he would have just used a little bit of that wisdom for that, it would have helped us out.
Man, Solomon ain't see social media coming, man.
We needed help.
Where you at when I need you, Sol?
I had a horrible joke right there, but I did not say it. That's just for everybody who thought that one too. That was for
You know where he was.
Oh, what's up, man? What's up, everybody? How y'all been? Welcome back to another episode of
Dog,
I'm really bad at this.
I'm really bad at this.
I desire to do better, but I do have to be honest. I look at myself sometimes in the mirror and just end it with, dude, you are really...
Because we just had this conversation. So here's what I'm noticing. We just had this conversation about how we want to be better. Yeah. But a few days went by and I came back to y'all and I still had a whole lot of ways that I saw I'm still not good at this. I thought it was going to get better as we kept admitting it. And you know, you just come back a week later.
And like, I'm more aware of this, so I am going to do better, Matt. You know, let's go ahead. Let's lead the charge. There is nothing that exists right now online, which is one of the reasons I ran towards that title, because no one likes to admit that. Nobody's online. Everybody online is an expert. Nobody online is like, you know what? I'm really not that good at this. Hey, guys, let's explore this. Can we try to get better together?
But don't go away. Like, stay here. I'm not good at what I'm about to talk about, but stay tuned to find out why I want you to listen.
No fitness coach online that's like, look, dude, I am horrible. I fell off this week. I've been hard on the cheeseburgers and whatever. They always have the position of, I've arrived and I'm bringing you up.
Yeah, even the vegan homegirl that got caught eating them steaks and burgers.
Oh, wait a minute. Tell me the story. I don't know nothing about this. Who is this?
Know her name. I'm quite sure James know her name.
No.
Be some celebrity vegan sister. Yeah, and then she got caught up eating the beef.
Oh, I know they gave her the business in the comments.
The beef with the chicken.
See, oh man, what's her name? You got me wanting to look it up. What's her name? You don't remember?
I think it's Tabitha or somebody.
Nah, it ain't Tab. Don't try to play Tab like that.
I don't know. You know, I don't follow no vegans.
Ain't no way.
If you ever seen me in person, I know you know I don't follow vegans.
Plus, if it was Tab, we would have already heard about that. But nah.
You might catch me on Salt Bay Instagram, but not no vegans.
Yeah, what is that fire steakhouse right now? What's the fire
Man,
one?
I heard he shut down.
Nah, I ain't talking about him. I heard he was whack anyway.
Yeah, I heard it was trash anyway.
I'm talking about in real life. What's the steakhouse that's popping out here in Cali?
Ooh,
Lock and Key, man. Lock and Key, downtown Downey. Lock and Key, ribeye, give you a run for your money. And you had the tomahawk, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, shoot, me and wifey was at Mastro's a couple weeks ago. Man, if I was on death row, give me my last meal.
Wait a minute, my boy already has it planned.
I already got it written down. What you want last? Man, give me that Wagyu steak from Mastro's with them lobster mashed potatoes.
And I'm out. That's
and that fresh baked bread they bring out.
How did I know he was gonna tell me where it was?
So you're not bothered that his mind went to being on death row? That don't bother you?
That is hilarious. He was like, oh man, I already know my last meal. Like, not at my anniversary.
Why is that on your mind?
Not at my next birthday party. Not at my, you know.
Because that Wagyu tomahawk like $250 or something like that.
I must be about to die.
Either I hit the lottery or I'm about to die.
Either or. Brother is not spending it like that. You know?
That man mind need to be studied.
So what's up, James? What's up, man? How y'all been? What's been up? I know we fresh off of the graduation party.
Yeah, we sending our kids off to bigger and better things, living the dream, having fun, having the parties. I love the way the community comes and celebrates with us, man. We have families. So we had like 3 families that came together to celebrate their daughters graduating from high school, and we just had a ball, man. I love to see community. I hope everybody has as dope a community or better than what I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
Because community is just, man, it keeps you alive. I think on some level it keeps you alive. We're not built to be alone.
Nope.
Not for long term. And I'm kind of introverted, so I like my little quiet time to recharge. Mm-hmm. But when I see everybody just enjoying themselves and celebrating somebody, especially young people need encouragement, man. I feel like I didn't get a whole lot of encouragement. Like I used to play football and tennis matches, nobody in the stands. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody. I caught the bus home. Ouch. Not only was nobody there, nobody picked me up and nothing. And it was just like nobody cared if I won or lost. Everybody asked me how was the game. Nothing. I'm playing like official high school games. Tennis and football is my thing. And man,
you got nobody in the stands.
Nobody in the stands.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I second
I'm not
that.
the only one that was feeling that. But
Nope.
Dang.
Oh, it was like normal, so it was kind of weird. You know
for you?
What I mean? Nah, yeah, it was just normal for most of my friends not having support like that, and just we just at school. But there's some who did. I remember a couple of my friends having mother and father, showing up for things. So I remember not feeling bad that nobody was there for me because it was nobody there for a lot of folks. So.
No, truth. Like my top 5 friends, they was all like single parent homes, dog.
It was just normal.
So it was just like normal.
I ran with like 6 or 7 dudes, like 11th grade, senior year. I ran with like 6 or 7 dudes in my neighborhood. It was one dad between the like 7 of us. There was one dad, and then like the fireman Rick down the block tried to do what he could with us, but he wasn't none of our fathers.
Yeah.
But shout out to fireman Rick, man. He tried to help us out, but it was one dad between the 7 of us. Nobody had their father. It was a stepfather. He was a couple of dead dads. My dad was off somewhere. I the last time I saw my dad, Tupac was alive.
Ooh.
You've made a lot
feel
of
that.
people.
I might have seen Tupac since I've seen my dad.
Jeez.
Yeah. Ooh.
We'll dig into more of that. We're gonna have a more. I think a subject later on that. But how you been, man?
But look, real quick. We was at the graduation the other day, and the families was going crazy trying to out yell the other families. I thought that was dope. It was like rows of people like, yeah, Samantha. They was screaming. They was letting off the horn, brr, 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 all of that.
But not like my man on the Adderall though. That was in the stands. Yeah. I mean, actually graduating with this class. Yeah.
But Whoever. It was dope to see rows of people like screaming for their folks.
What was that? Oh.
That was me. But I just enjoyed all of that, man. People were screaming. It took them an hour to give out the diplomas. It was like 800 kids. They was naming off names for like an hour, bro.
Oh, I was talking about the other one.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, all the graduations were dope.
Yeah.
This one I was at for my girl.
bad. Yeah.
It was 800 people.
That's different.
They was just rattling off names for an hour.
That's amazing.
And the families was just going crazy. I just thought it was dope how the families were trying to have a shout off.
Yeah, he was doing that. I thought he was talking about Lisa's the other day. But yeah, she had a kid that was on Adderall. That's what we were saying because he was just
he was high-fiving everybody. He did like 50 push-ups when he got his name called.
Then when he got called up there, he did like 50 push-ups. He was just pumped. But he was doing it for every classmate. And if I put it to you like this, if you was one of them kids like we were just talking about and nobody showed up for you, and then he was happy that he was there. He was like, he pumped up everybody. Yeah, Joe, yeah.
Yeah, he was giving high fives out to everybody.
Everybody was hilarious. But, you only graduate from high school once. So.
Yeah, but even go back to what James said earlier, like, community is important. You know what I'm saying? Man. At least you would have had somebody in the stands clapping for you, whether it was the deacon or somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The mentor or something. That's why church community is important, bro.
Bro.
It's really important.
I can't stress it enough. I'm in the season of celebrating it and making sure people know that it's an intricate part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not no club, it's a community, and it's a grace given by God, and it's like it's a big one. I wouldn't move forward in my Christian walk and move forward and want to grow and want to be better if I wasn't surrounded by people who I really genuinely felt was far better than me.
True.
In it. I wouldn't reach and strive and be like, I would lie to myself and like, you can't live like this. You can't, do the family thing. That's on TV or something. I'll come up with some lie. But God puts you in community and see, no, it can be done. This is how it can be done. And I'm going to give you grace to get it done as well. And you look up, man, over time, and it's like, man, I actually have done something too. Yeah. But then, once again, I did back and just keep doing and blow it. Like, I had to get up like at 4 o'clock in the morning to not take my mother-in-law to the airport. I just had to get up and just get her luggage and put it in the car. That's all I had to do. Mm-hmm. And I could go back to sleep. Nigga, I still woke up with attitude. I knew I had to do it. I knew I still had to do it. My wife was like, don't be yelling at me. And I really wasn't yelling. I was just like, because I got 2 of them. And I'm like, dang. But it was 3 bags, and one of them was real light. And I felt slum for this later on. But I was like, y'all can't carry that one. But look, Mookie, I just went to bed at midnight. So it's really just a good hot 4 hours, and then I'm back up again. I never do that to myself because I know you want to see the worst version of me, that's all you got to do.
Hey, you know how you have to
stay up till midnight and have to get up like 3 or something. You're going to see the worst version of me.
Hey, you know how you have to warm up your car? Like if you have an old car, you have to warm up your car. How long it take for y'all Holy Ghost to warm up in the morning?
Oh, my
like old school. Like it's going to be a minute.
I need like 2 Maverick City songs that last. You know how they got like 10-minute songs? I need like 20 minutes of music.
Maybe 2 Maverick Cities and a commercial break, a good commercial break, a radio commercial break in the morning.
I got to play one of the Psalms, one of my favorite Psalms. I didn't listen to none of it the first time I played it, so I got to go back and play that one again because I didn't listen to none of that. And then I don't know if y'all do this. Is this cheating? I be listening to YouTube prayers instead of saying my own prayers.
Hey, I'm finna try that one.
No, it be working sometimes. If I'm listening, it work. It's kind of like when you pray, I ain't talking. That count, right?
Boy, you have stumbled upon something big right there.
If you praying, hear me out.
You was feeling weird about this, but I think you onto something.
If you praying and I'm listening, we both praying.
We just talked about how
2 or 3 are gathered.
We just talked about how community can encourage you. Hey. People, they may pray better than me, and they recorded it.
I mean, they got better things to say than I do.
So if my wife is listening to the Bible out loud, I get credit for that too.
That's devotion. That's devotion. That counts as devotion.
I'm gonna tell you how to get credit. You be the one who push play.
Push play.
You got to make sure you the one push play.
Hey,
or at least remind her like, oh, it's audio Bible time, dear. Whatever. Then you get credit.
Listen to how foul I am.
Read it.
Whoever reading that Bible that my wife listened to, I hate that man's voice. So I know I ain't in devotion. I hate his voice, bro. I be trying to turn that joint off every chance I get.
How you gonna hate the Bible voice?
It's the voice. It don't have nothing to do with the Bible. That man's voice get on my nerves.
I'm just saying.
I don't like that voice.
I never heard anybody say they hate the Bible voice.
That's how foul, I started out. That's how foul I am. If she turned that joint on and leave the room, I'll be ready to turn the Bible off, bro.
All right.
Is Instagram Reels considered a devotion?
What they talking about?
Is it a devotional reel though? I'm pretty sure there's devotional reels.
Sermon snippet, you know what I'm saying?
Not if it's a foul sermon.
Oh no. You know ain't nobody. I'm saying like I click on
the stuff you be sending me, they throwing you foul sermons. You got foul sermons all on my timeline. They send you foul sermons.
Hey, that's for laughing.
You getting them.
We're not talking about those. Giggles. Yeah, those are for the giggles.
Well, YouTube know you want them, so somebody knows.
Oh yeah, YouTube know I need a little laughter in my life.
Yeah. So you're not talking about
IG, IG know I need a little laughter in my life in the morning.
Speaking of a little laughter.
Hold on. How long it take? Y'all ain't answered the question. I'm bad. It take me like a solid half hour before I feel like I'm
it's
going to hell.
It's I gotta like it's been a while.
I need to warm
like this.
Up like an old Toyota.
Because I have time, like I'm usually charging the car up in the morning before I get going, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have a good, mostly, just like tomorrow, because I'm not finna do that tonight. I'm gonna have a good 45 minutes of just charging before I start work. So in that time frame, I could do one or two things. Like I could take a nap, continue sleeping, or I could do some kind of devotion. So it's been devotion. Yeah. And what it's been is that gets me going. It's not so much music, which is so funny because I have to now force myself to kind of incorporate music. But I'll listen to sermons. And it just makes me, I'm like, this is how I'm going to start my day. I'm going to start just diving off, and it's usually Keller because he's easy to stomach. Yeah. Especially early in the morning, someone just making me think about the Word of God, because that's really where I want to go. And if I'm reading something, if like we're reading a passage or like we're going over something for like men's or something, then, you know, I'll read that. But that's been the most consistent, is just sitting and listening to a sermon. That'll get me going after about an hour or so. And then after that, I might work or listen to something that I have been working on recently, some music and things that I'm working, because it kind of encourages me to start talking about those things, right? That takes about that whole 45 minutes, and then by then I'm like, bring it on, Lord, whatever the day may be. And sometimes it's rough, sometimes it's wonderful, but
do y'all feel the
45 minutes starts.
Do you feel the difference sometimes if you, let's say you rush and you miss out, or you just don't time,
Absolutely.
Don't schedule, and you feel like later
Absolutely.
on? Because I'm only bringing this up because you say you were kind of a little snappy. It was early in your day, and you felt a little bit snappy. Like,
no, here's what's sad about it. It's because I knew it was coming. I knew this was going to be the thing, and I thought I was going to be wonderful in doing it, because it's going to be rough. But you got to get up, because first of all, you can't believe that this alarm has gone off and it's already time for you to get up and do this. Right.
You should have said your morning prayer when you went to bed.
And yes.
Will it carry over?
Let me do my devotion right now before I lay down.
Because I come in the house and mother-in-law is like I told you, it's after midnight. Mother-in-law is like, you want to go ahead and put my bags down in the car right now? I was like, nope, like real fast. And everybody laughed because it was like, nah, man, because we worn out. This is after the party. This is after everything. Now I'll get up with y'all when y'all, you know. So I already know. I'm setting myself up for failure. Nigga, I get up in bark mode. Like, don't say nothing slick to me at all, because this is not nothing I really want to participate in. And it's like you gotta. It was so weird. It's like I gotta express it in some way. You gotta know that this is not to be like planned again.
I'm not to be played with.
This is not to be planned again like this in the future. This is.
Don't nobody else do this again.
We need to express.
No early morning flights.
Yeah, we got to express like, this is not a good thing for me, but you don't have to. And it's a reminder to me like, man, I am bad at this. I'm really bad.
Hey, what time do devotion expire if you do it the night before? How long do it last before it expires?
Man, I think, and that's another thing.
His devotions the night before.
But can you get away with it like that? I don't know. I say go with your conscience, because think about it. If you're the type of person who does it at the top of the day and at the end of the day, or are you the person who just does it at the beginning of the day, or are you a person who just does it at the end of the day? Like, who am I to say that you're doing it wrong?
Man, I don't recommend doing nothing at the end of the day. Nah, you done left a mess.
Good old day.
Nah, but why you can't?
You didn't cut somebody off with your tongue.
Why you can't?
Almost had 5 fights.
So why you can't? My thing is, why you can't power up the night before? That's a good question. Why you can't power up? Like, look, Lord, I'm gonna go to sleep tomorrow. I would love it to be like X, Y, and Z. Y'all crazy. Y'all like, nah, y'all can't. So when the sun flip on, it's like, nigga, all the new prayers. all the prayers got to be new for that day.
All the prayers expire at midnight?
Yes, all the prayers expire at midnight. That's what y'all saying. So now you're like, nah, buddy, you got to get it in.
Yeah, get it in again. Can't win today's games with yesterday's home runs.
Need one of them 12-hour extended release prayers. Yeah, Lord, let this carry over into 7 o'clock
right,
when I wake
tomorrow
up.
when I wake up.
Asking God to let you be lazy.
You're like, Lord, I don't even really want to get up early, but right now I'm here. Me and you here right now.
So like, spread this out a little bit. Make
Can
this
you
last.
please spread this out for early morning?
Spaghetti leftover prayers.
I'm just trying to figure it out. Now, devotion, I think, honestly, all jokes aside, it is a it's not I think a biblical term, meaning that's something that the apostles taught, to have your devotional time. I think we get that from Jesus getting up early, always in prayer with the Father, and going, well, why don't I get up early?
It come from what you're talking about. Like, as soon as I open my eyes, I'm on a rampage.
The war started.
The war has already started.
As soon as the eyes open up, it's a wild thing.
That's
man.
what it feel like. So last night don't seem to help much. Maybe it's cumulative over time. I'm doing all right, but I be waking up in a rage. Like, man, what's wrong with you?
The older I'm getting, the more
you?
aware I'm. The more and more I've become aware how the reality that we live in is so anti-biblical. Like, everything the Bible's like, stay away from. This is not cool. You guys shouldn't. It's like your reality is like, is it really? On every level, on every topic and everything. And the older I get, the more. And I'm like, the more money you get, the more you could get in trouble.
Yeah.
With all of these things. You know, you can live something simple following, I think, God's laws and be wonderfully happy and blissful. But put that stuff in the wrong hands and the wrong people, man, you could blow yourself up. Like,
that's facts.
I'm just thinking about myself. I'm not thinking about nobody. I was like, dude, I could blow up. Dude, if I had, like, I don't know.
Let's put it like this, Keller.
Billions and billions of dollars, and I'm like, wild out. Like, my wild out weekend is like, when I get mad, at my wife, the wildest thing I do is probably go somewhere and eat without her and be like, yeah, I'm eating. That's how you do some crazy, spiteful, Christian thing. That's wild. But if I had, I was a billionaire, what would that look like?
Man, I heard Keller say something cold. He said,
I don't know if it would just look
if you
like that.
knew what God knew, you would only ask for what God gives you. I think Bizzle says it a different way too, but I see that a lot.
I'm with that.
If you knew what God knew, you would only want him to answer the prayers that he wants to answer.
I got a clue for a few things. There are some things that God don't. I think he's done a great job showing me. Like,
right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we want other prayers to be answered. Like, God, why you didn't answer that prayer? How come that didn't come through on time like I thought it was?
Because I'm not trying to kill you.
Hey.
It's not your time yet.
Flat out.
And that right there would have just destroyed you. And I know, like, if I would have had a certain level of bread at a certain age, like in my early 20s, I would have most definitely destroyed myself.
Yeah.
One of my favorite country music songs says, be careful what you wish for because you might just get it all.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes that could be like a death blow to a lot of people. And I think it has been to a lot of people. They got exactly what they wanted. Why you keep doing the guitar thing, bro? Weird music. And speaking of weird music, I want to jump into this right now. Okay, I'm going to ask y'all a question. What if, somebody says, hey, come hear my kid play at his recital. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big, a situation. I want you to come hear him, and I want him to be encouraged. So, if when he gets up and does his thing, can you cheer it on and whatever. You like, cool, whatever. We're all fathers in here. We like, of course, man. We'll support your kid. And then the kid gets up, and then he starts his solo in the festival like this. Just want y'all to listen to this and tell me how y'all would respond. And be honest, but I want y'all to listen to his little portion. I hope we can get it. Hold on. Yeah. Here we go. at the end of that, what you guys think? What would you? It's like, hey, how did my boy do, guys?
Man, it sounds like he really been practicing. He be putting a lot of time in. That's how I get out of that.
He's a liar. All right, you?
Was it a Hindu concert or something?
no. This was
I'm
okay. Let's just say
what genre
it was.
music was.
And I apologize to all my Hindu people, but let's say it was.
It's not the shot at Hindu people. I'm just saying, like the cobra coming out the basket. That would have sounded like the music.
Is that all? Okay, let's say that is. Let's just say you nailed it. If it's that, he nailed it.
Yeah, if it's that, he nailed it.
No, that's Andre 3000 at the Jazz Festival.
Well,
And how do you feel about that? How do you feel? Because it's not a good little boy at a recital. It's Andre 3000. Do y'all like that? Somebody said in one of the captions, hilarious. They said they hate Erykah Badu forever for whatever spell she put on him.
Nobody come out right messing with her. Everybody come out messed up.
They said they hate her forever. I was crying. What y'all think?
What? I don't know nothing about flutes, man. What you want me to say? This ain't for me. Whoever this is for,
it's not for you.
It's not for me. He wasn't thinking about me when he put that together.
Is that spa music? Could you relax to that?
No, that sounded like traffic for real. It sounded like traffic. I couldn't do it. That's not what I'm expecting.
Bookie, that's the Andre 3000 you like?
It sounds like snake taming. You ask me. That's the first. National Geographic was the first thing that came to my mind. That's what I thought we was listening to. A National Geographic soundtrack.
He saw a cobra coming out.
Yeah, that's what I saw. A cobra coming out, dancing.
Is it that? Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is it because we're not cultured? Yes. We can't evolve, and I
don't have no plans to evolve to ever caring about that, though. Am I supposed to feel bad? I'll totally admit to being uncultured, but I'm not gonna feel bad.
Nah, I don't feel bad about that at all. No, I mean, I tried to give it a shot, and this is what I've learned. This is a simple little fact that I've learned in life when it comes to like music and food too. If I can only listen to it once, it's probably not good. And it's me. That's my preference. But if I can only listen to it once and I don't go back to it, I don't want to hear it again. I'm not like, man, it's not good, bro. And you just got to face the facts. And it's a bunch of stuff like that. And that Andre 3000 Flute album, that's exactly how many times I listened to it.
So this happened with the aux cord.
when it came out.
This happened with the aux cord at the party. So we playing certain songs sounding great. I'm feeling it. It was nice.
Yeah.
And then somebody else got a hold of that aux cord, started playing some other stuff, and they priced me out. So I mean, I like diversity. I'm just aware that there's a lot of stuff that's just not ever built for me. It wasn't built for me to begin with. It's conversations about
what I'm
music
saying is
I'm not gonna ever be in.
I think it's a difference between that and some stuff just not being good. And that to me is just not being good.
I don't even think it's cultured, because if you look at my playlist, I go from Pepper Ann to Coltrane to Kenny Chesney to Luke Combs to New Edition. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm kind of have a wide range of music taste.
Yeah.
I even got some Beethoven and Mozart that I be playing, depending on my mood.
Yeah.
But flute music like that, I have to get a deuces.
It's like hockey, man. I'm not watching hockey ever.
No, you're not.
Watching
but look,
NASCAR
but check this out.
Ever.
Let's put a pin in that. But check this out. I was the same way with, with hockey too, until I went to a hockey game.
Yeah. I'm about to say the same thing.
When you go to it, that bad boy is fire. First of all, you're going to realize how fast they move. And you see they really banging up on each other. And then this was the other thing I was thinking about hockey. It's so bad that they have to criminalize the players at a certain time. Like, this dude got to be in a penalty box because he's out of control. He's done to, that's a part of the game. Like this dude can actually just be sitting there like, he can't play right now because he's just been doing way too much. And we got to make an example of him at a certain time. Like, he's doing way too much and he needs to sit here. I'm like, that's how wild that game is, bro.
Well, there's 15,000 people there. I'm not going. So I'm just saying.
But I feel you.
I enjoy the diversity. I just know when I hear something that does nothing for me, I don't assume that there's something wrong with them. I just say, oh, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it moving. But I hear what you're saying. Some of the stuff is there's no audience for it because it ain't that good.
Because it's just not good. That's what I'm just saying. I'm like, there's a category of that. And I'm like, unfortunately, somebody as talented as he is in one area, he's not good in this.
Why you on 3 stacks like that? You don't even know about flute music. How you got opinions?
Dude, you could Google everybody that he worked with and then listen to their albums, and then go back and listen to his album, and then you'll be like, "Oh yeah, he's not good there," or you at least say, "Oh, he's not there yet." That's a good way of saying somebody's horrible too.
On that man's head.
No, I'm just saying, and then that might move us to this next little topic. This was something that you brought up, James, and you could talk to, and this was talking about, and I think speaking towards. Our potential, as I guess, you could say entrepreneurs or creatives or whatever. And this is I told you, a video heavy episode. Where's that video at? It was this one that you kicked at us. Hold on.
Devoting between 8 and 12 hours a day on your craft, and you're not really trying to be a professional. Right. Like, you got to realize you're trying to be competitive. Being a professional means being the best in the world. That doesn't just come with skill, that comes with discipline. Right. That means you have to have a certain kind of work ethic. That means you're doing things that most won't. Right. People really don't understand it. Like, they think they got skill, so everything's going to come to them. Skill is actually like a curse. I've seen people with no skill that realize it and understand that they have to work hard to get this skill, work so hard that they do better than the people that have skill and that are arrogant and entitled, that feel that it should just come to them, and then they just become a waste. Right. Having potential is bullshit if you don't realize it. Right. It becomes corny. Like, you're the cool guy when you have potential, but like 10 years later, if you don't realize it, then you're the corny guy. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I never want to ever be that guy. If you're not devoted.
What you think?
Man, that hit me so hard when he said you don't want to be the cool guy at first. Everybody like, oh, look what such and such is doing. And then 10 years later, they still ain't did nothing with it. Now you just a corny dude. Oh, they hurt my heart so bad, man.
But why though?
I do not want to be that person.
Yeah. Well, what's the quickest way to avoid, you think, being that person? What do you think? I
think so when I tried to first start my clothing line, you have a couple ideas, you have a couple logos, you have a couple of taglines, a couple of names. You start asking people questions, you start thinking through partners. Okay, who should work with me, or should I do it by myself, whatever. Yeah. So I asked Buki to come help out with me. A couple other guys I asked to come help out with me, didn't work out. And then, selling on a logo, selling on a tagline, moving stuff around, changing the name and all that kind of stuff. And then once you get all that settled and you feel like you really got something, you in the right space, all of the experts were saying, get out there and try something. Just try something. Get whatever you think your best product is together. See what your competition is doing. Make sure it matches on some level. You got to be in that space. You have to show some kind of competency in that space. Yeah. So I tried to get my little, whatever I could do, get it together, get it out. Sold a few joints. I was following Kino Camp around, CHH Group Kino Camp, following them around, explaining the brand. People heard the brand, liked it, and started buying stuff. I'm like, okay, we own something. It's not Nike or nothing, but okay, we here. Yeah. And then trying to figure out what that looks like in real time in front of everybody, that can be hard, man, because you don't know what you don't know yet. And you're still developing your craft, you're developing your signature, whether it's music or fashion or any art form, you're developing. You're still developing. You hear all the experts talk about how to develop. And it just get to a point where you're like, man, I need to just go back to the drawing board. I don't think I have what it takes to do this. And everybody else says, try to fail fast. And I'm not good at that. I'm not good at failing fast. When I fail, it makes me go back and analyze everything. Like, okay, do I have the wrong name? Do I have the wrong logo? Do I have the wrong partner? Do I have the wrong genre? Am I not even supposed to be doing this? Like, I'm going way past stuff I had already settled. And I hear from other people like that's a consistent problem that sometimes entrepreneurs or artists or creatives have, where they start second guessing everything. Yeah. Instead of just the one thing, like, hey, maybe you should try marketing. Try telling somebody about it. You ain't even told nobody about this. You don't even know if it work or not. Only 10 people have ever heard of it.
I think
so. Instead of marketing, I start analyzing, start second guessing everything instead of just putting it out there. Yeah. And it just, oh my goodness, man. When he started talking about the entitlement of just wanting everything to just come easy to you and wanting things to just be like, just handed to you. And I was like, oh, I know that's me. And I got a mentor who's always on my neck. He always on my neck. We meet like every week as much as we can. And every time I, bring him the next play, he's like, okay, you sent me this play 6 months ago. Why is this still the play? Why haven't you executed on this play? This was 6 months ago. This was the play. We still here? Yeah. Why haven't at least 50 of these been put out yet?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I kind of, I just start humming and hawing. And he's like, listen, man, if you're not going to execute, somebody else is going to be in this space taking up the dollars that should have went your way, taking up the attention that should have went your way. And I just thought so here's what happens. When I don't have that meeting every week, without fail, somebody comes on my timeline with one of these posts. And every time it happens, I shoot it to my mentor like, man, I know we didn't have our meeting, but God is still hounding me with all of your quotes.
Yeah.
So this is another incident where we had all the graduation stuff, so I didn't have my meeting. And then here come the quote, Dame coming through like, don't be the corny dude that sat on something for 10 years and could have been something.
All you got to do.
But you wanted it to be easy.
I just think all you got to do is just stay on it. But I think backing up at the beginning, whatever it is, you got to be in love with it. And then it's not work. The thing is and then that's easier said than done. I think we just, make sure it's something you're passionate about, something you love, blah, 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 blah. But what people don't talk about is identifying these things that you truly love.
Yeah.
Because you could just like it. It could be a hobby or whatever. But when it's something that you truly love, you're going to outwork everybody that's probably currently in that business, or you're going to perform at a high level because you love it. And it's hard to outwork people who love something.
That's
versus somebody who is trying to put a program together to use this thing to get them somewhere. That's something else. And that's the thing. You just got to remember why you're doing something and being in love with that, and watch that propel you. The E-Myth is a good book. I love that book for entrepreneurs. Somebody, Antonio told me to read that book. And that was one of the 3 books he told me to read. And that was one of the ones that drove that point home. Like, you got to remember why you're doing it.
Your why.
Yeah.
That sound like Cynic. It's
dope. It's called the E-Myth, but it's a twist to it too. So I don't want to give that away for people who may want to read the book. But it's a dope one for entrepreneurs. And actually, I might want to add that to the book list, to the books we leave in the cribs. Because right now I leave The Richest Man in Babylon and Heaven by Randy Alcorn and something else in all our houses. But anyway.
So shout out to all the creatives, man. I feel your pain, man. Trying to bring something to life out of nothing. It's a dope process, but it's also
consistency.
It's aggravating.
And that's not overhyped. It's just a little bit at a time. And I believe the same thing that we'll do over time with this. I'm so convinced, because it's only a matter of time. It's just consistency of doing something, and then people get used to it.
So, question. When you finish your thought, I didn't mean to cut you
off. No. I was saying people get used to it, whether that's music, art, fashion, whatever, creative, whatever. You just got to be consistent and out there. And you got social media, so you don't have an excuse. But go ahead.
No, I was going to ask y'all, like, what do you do with the insecurity that comes from knowing that you mess up a lot? Like, sometimes I just feel like it's not supposed to work out for me because I'm such a mess as a believer or whatever. I drop the ball all the time. Like, what do y'all think about just the idea? Like, I don't know if this is even supposed to work out some days.
Yeah.
Is that healthy? Is that?
I think for me, what has been lately is reminding myself that God is working with horrible people who don't get it right. And I was doing, what's the name of this app? Because I most definitely want to plug them, because they have been very, very, very instrumental lately in driving that point home, and why I'm comfortable saying that. and the app is Read Scripture. Y'all seen that? The Read Scripture app, or Read Scripture. It's a whole brand. They make books and stuff too. The Doss family got them up in their little game room in the back. That's where I first got turned on to them. But anyway, but they have like little videos. It's a thing. It's a devotional tool. It's like a little app that if you want to do devotions each day or whatever. But they have a video of all the books of the Bible and kind of give a synopsis of it, right? So I went through all the Old Testament, and it was just, just the videos, and it was just a reminder how God has his chosen people, and they do a horrible job following him, and it's the cycle of it. But he promises through all of it, I'm gonna send a savior. I'm gonna send somebody who is gonna fix this problem. We're gonna show how you can't fix it. You're gonna see how horrible you are. You're gonna see how the best of y'all is still making a horrible decision, but somebody gonna come and do this perfectly. They'll walk this thing out perfectly, but then end up, as we know, becoming that sacrifice. Yada yada yada. Why I say all that? I say that is because it seems like God has no problem with working with people who just don't get it, people who don't feel like they fit the part, the people who socially look like they don't fit the part. To this day, people still clowning the Bible because you think I'm gonna listen to some shepherds that was in a field?
Yeah,
they still because socially that's not cool. So it's like, oh, you think I'm gonna listen to some homeless, people tell me about God or whatever if he's speaking the truth? But you know what I'm saying. The point is just that I don't know.
I just feel like there's a lot of people, especially the creatives, who are struggling with whether or not things are even supposed to work out. Like, maybe this ain't supposed to work out. Maybe I'm just asking for too much to work out. Because I got a lot of cool stuff going on in my life. So it's like, if I got 4 things going right, got a decent marriage, got a decent job, decent relationship with my kids, decent church, decent friend group. So I'm like, man, I'm winning in a lot of areas. Maybe I'm asking for too many things to go right, especially since I keep dropping the ball in so many other areas. So maybe it's just an excuse to not go after the thing and fall in front of everybody. But
I think the thing that pushes me is just knowing that it's a gift from God. These are gifts from God. And at the end of it all, he's coming to be like, what'd you do with him? You know what I mean? So I can't think, everything that I'm doing is, even in creatively, is going to monetarily just blow up and turn into some sort of business. I may need to be doing the creative thing just for my local body, for somebody there to be encouraged.
Right.
That's what I want you to do it for, and you could just be doing it there. Now, if it goes there, grows, and becomes something else, praise the Lord. But if not, either way, you saw the value in it. You saw the impact of it. So I'm saying, because think about it, gospel music and gospel singers. Will most gospel singers in the church sing at their church or be superstars? What's most people's story going to be?
It's local.
Yeah, local.
And is there anything wrong with that? Should they be happy? Because if you like to sing, like again, if you love to sing and you have that outlet to sing, and while you do those other, things, a 9 to 5 or what have you, and God still graces you to be able to do that, and you happy with that, it's serving the body.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's just what people, I think, expect to do with their gifts. You know what I mean? If you like, man, I'm going to paint, portraits to the glory of God, but I wanted to make sure I wanted to enable me to travel around the world and be in all these different, art arenas or whatever, then you got to walk those paths. You know what I'm saying? To do that. You know what I mean? So it really depends. So
if you make a T-shirt with a good message on it, and people will get the message, but your goal was not only push the message, but to help financially move your family, move the needle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you not fail, but if it doesn't move the needle like you want, but people get the message, does it still feel like failure?
Well,
I think it does.
Well, my thing is, again, whatever your goal is. Now, if your goal is to move units and you ain't moving no units, then you're gonna feel like a failure.
Yeah.
If your goal is to sell hamburgers, you open up the hamburger shack and nobody coming through and eating, and the people that do come eating don't come back. Yes, you're supposed to feel like failure in all them situations, right? And do whatever you can do better. But again, it's your goal. Like I would say right now, and this is on me, and I'm gonna drop a jewel. They always say it takes money to make money, and I totally believe that.
Right.
You live in an information age, right? The best investment that any entrepreneur could make is ordering a subscription to Masterclass.
Ooh.
And everybody gives up all their blueprints. That's the whole thing, or at least they basics of blueprint. And when I say everybody, I'm saying Timberland is telling you, like in a whole class, how he makes beats from beginning to end. Like this is exactly how I do it. You have Nas on there with Hit Boy, showing you how we go from A to Z. Like if you don't want to sit and listen to people like that to get where you need to go, and this is in every field. This is not just in arts and entertainment. Issa Rae has a whole thing about character development on there, how to develop character, how she developed her characters or whatever. So if you're trying to do any of this stuff, you need to tap into the information, but no, you're gonna have to pay for it. The one that the information that moves you to, it's never gonna be free. Like I don't care what walk or what a field you're in, you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna get some good information, and then you're gonna realize, oh man, that other information has to be paid for. What you think college is?
Right.
You feel me?
I think it's a hard situation because in that situation, nobody's counting how many hearts have been changed, but they're counting how many T-shirts been sold.
Yeah.
So when you come back, you be like, oh yeah, like 50 people they got touched by my shirt and they did this, but you still got 3 boxes of shirts back there that been sitting there for like 6 months, like you said.
Yeah.
So now you in your feelings like, what did I do, Lord? What did I do, maybe to save my calling? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I did this wrong, but
you got to tap in and figure it out, Buki. It's what I'm saying. My point is the information is there for people who want it, and then you got to be able to say, all right, am I up to walk the path, because it's no shortcuts. And then you like, but if it's something that you love, you like, man, I'm down for it.
Right.
Because you putting yourself around something you love to be around, and you going before you know it, you're gonna be outworking your competition. Even like me and T in the short-term rental stuff that we be doing. You know what we did with the hot tub? You know why you did that? So we can make ourselves better than any of the competition right there. That was the only reason. And you know why we did that? Because somebody who was mentoring us told us that's what you need to do to the house. And we had to pay to go hear him talk and lay it down. But he's leading in his field. He got 20 plus properties that he owns all over the United States. And ain't none of them 4 hours close to him. You know what I mean? He's like, you don't have to think that you got to be right next door to manage this thing. You can put them where they make sense or whatever. But anyway, my point is listening to him and doing exactly what he did, because he told us how to do our listing too. We did everything he said to the team, and everything he said.
So let me ask you this. Ask you this. So was he the one that told you get in a hot tub and had the bubbles bubbling with the picture that you took?
What you mean? Why? I missed that.
Was he looking sexy online
yeah,
somewhere?
he was on Facebook in the hot tub with the bubbles.
Not really. That might have hurt sales. That might have hurt sales. But I was happy like that bad boy was working. My boy Chaz got it working for us. He came in at the electrical for it, and he got everything legitimately done, and we was happy. He was like, man.
So that's the other part of it. You hear all the different names we naming. You hear all the Dawsons and Chaz and mentors and all these different people. Like it goes back to community, because I think like my mentor would always press me early on, like you got to have proof of concept. Who's supposed to care about this in your field? If you make shoes, if you make hats, if you make music, who's gonna like this? Who's it for? Mm-hmm. And so I think I did the hard work to get out there and go to different shows. We did an Andy Mineo show. We did some shows, and we saw people that we did not know. People that we did not know wanted our stuff. And so it was like, okay, we got something there. And then
You got a hat to this day that still sells. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You already know what I'm talking about.
I know. And so it's just weird because sometimes as a creative, you get in your own head and you start thinking like, oh, man, I think I need to make a pivot. That's like, okay, if you want to pivot. But what I hear people say is fortune favors the bold. But I heard somebody else say, no, fortune favors the fast. You need to learn how to fail fast. You're going to take a couple of chances and take a couple of risks as a creative. When you take those risks and they don't work out, make that pivot and move on. Because
all the failure pushes you forward. That's one of the secret sauces. Is people scared to fail, but you're not going to have no progression doing that. You got to fail to hit and it sting, and you like, man, I ain't going to do it like that no more. I'm going to do it like blah, 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 blah. Especially when nobody gave you a blueprint and you are trying to figure things out. It is the fastest way to get there is now you don't have to fail big. You don't have to be like, man, I'm gonna take a 60,000 and just dump it into this dude that I just met on the internet 10 minutes ago. Right. Like, no, I'm not saying that. Gamble like that. Try to make the wisest decisions that you can. And then for me, again, that's where Bible kicks in as well. Safety is in a multitude of counsel. And I believe that in whatever kind of counsel that you trying to get, the more wise people that can give you insight, the better position that you can put yourself in. You don't have to make as many risky decisions, but at the end of the day, all business, there is a risk. There's no guarantee of anything that you get into. So what you going to do? Never take the risk? Go ahead.
I'm just going to say it like this. I think like even though I have seen a whole lot of stuff, I still think growing up in poverty, broken home, not having my dad's side of the family around, all that kind of stuff still makes me feel like I don't think anything is going to work out.
Let's talk about that.
And I do want to talk about that. I think that's a big deal, even as a grown man. I got grown kids now. But part of me still wonders, like, is this going to work out? Because traditionally, I'm still remembering how many things did not work out.
Absolutely.
Especially going back to, I guess, I don't have to go that far back. I've seen a lot of stuff fall apart.
Yeah.
And so when I see like 5 or 6 things working out, I feel like I kind of met my max. Like, okay, I got like 5 things going.
Yeah.
Ain't no way this other thing could work out too. I just sometimes do the math like that. Yeah. I got 5 good things going. Decent marriage, decent family group, decent fellowship, decent friendship group. So I'm already up.
Yeah.
And asking this other thing to work out sometimes feels like, man, you asking for too much, man.
James, you and I are in the same exact boat, and I have to fight it every day of my life. And I'll be very, very, very candid. There is a lot of times, man, and I'll wake up tomorrow fighting it. Like you say, as soon as you open your eyes, the battle is on. But I'll be out grinding, as an entrepreneur, and I'll be doing something like Ubering, and I have to admit, that is not my high choice of work. You know what I'm saying? To earn money. That's not like my first choice. And currently, I'm looking for, other opportunities. So Bookie, I need an opportunity. I got something cracking out. And I'm looking for something else right now because it can be very humbling doing work like that, knowing like, yo, I got to get bread. I got to do this and move this person around. Like, I really just want to go home right now. Or I really just want to call out sick. And there's no such thing in the position that I'm in, right? And so it can be real challenging at times. I'm just saying, and James, what comes up is a lot in this is like how I wasn't prepared well for this. You know what I mean? For me, this is my issue with the pops not being around or whatever. I'm like, you got to go harder than this. And this is life. This is just life for everybody. This is just nothing. This is nothing special. You got to get up. But there is a lot of times where I'm thinking like the reason I'm responding to the world's challenges like I am is because I wasn't built with that male role model in the house really dedicated to me. I had my grandfather, but my grandfather's my grandfather. My grandfather's not my father. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who would be much closer and much like, tighter on things now. My grandfather showed me wonderful things and was able to take care of me and my brother in a very crucial time growing up, and modeled, taking care of a family. Wonderful thing. But not having a pops, like you say, it does something to a man's like security in accomplishing things. There's some I don't know, static or something there that's not working.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either, because I'm not trying to blame anybody else. Yeah. It's not that. You're not trying to blame anybody else. Like, I'm grown. I've been in charge of my own successes for a long time, So
yeah,
when you see certain successes in certain areas, you think like, okay, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Got a decent career. I'm doing all right. And then you start seeing this other area where it's like, ooh, something about this is not the same. Something about that, especially as a creative, you thinking about things that you developed, you designed, things that you feel like actually represent you and nobody else. It's just you stand or fall on your own. And then I'm looking at it like, man, I really still struggle with this in this area, even though I have all these other areas of my life kind of cool. This area over here, for some reason,
what was
weird.
That thing that you had? I was trying to pull it up. That thing that you had from the Minnesota psychological somebody that you had. There was a quote there that you sent us, and I found that to be very, very interesting.
The Minnesota Psychological Association.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about the number of children who grew up without a father in the home. The United States has reached concerning levels. There exists a considerable research base that suggests that children raised in households lacking a father experience psychological problems with greater frequency than children with a father in the home. These problems has been found to extend into adolescence and adulthood and include increased risk of substance use, depression, suicide, poor school performance, and contact with criminal justice system.
And I think I came in contact with all of that.
Yeah, I'm 4 out of 5.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Suicide is not one, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? I could have went down past and I think triggered that as, an option as well. But thank God,
right,
that, didn't happen. But I'm just saying, like you said, 4 out of 5. Like, and every time they bring up the whack facts about the fatherless homes, and I always be sitting there like, man, I check all of them.
Man,
I hate that. Sitting there like, dang.
Yeah. The thing about it,
I did all that. Dang.
The thing about it for me,
I'm a statistic.
Yeah, as I grew older, I seen it.
Yeah.
And like, my father was in and out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no consistent thing.
Yeah.
And my grandfather was in a home.
Yeah.
Then he left and went back home to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I had uncles who was around. One was in and out of prison like my whole young life, and then another one he left and went back to Pittsburgh. So a lot of things that I learned was from my peers. So we a bunch of 10-year-old teenagers teaching each other about everything. You know what I'm saying? Whether from drug use to sex to, you know what I'm saying?
But think about it. How much was it from TV too?
Yeah.
And movies.
Yeah. And then they had, like I said, they didn't have a father in their home. They had older brothers who went through the same cycle. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm learning these things off from my peers on the street and different things like that. And like, shout out to my mom. And today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. 64. Nice. She's 2 years free cancer and all that.
Nice.
And my mom did a great job raising me and my brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like my mom always said, I can't teach you how to be a man.
Yeah.
Only a man can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I can recall an instance where my father was actually there and I had a fight in the street, right? And so my mom first thing, she's like, Gordon, go get your son. And my pops is looking out the window like, nah, you're not going to go get him. He got to learn how to handle that on his own. He got to learn how to defend himself. He got to learn how to handle situations. You know what I'm saying? And so these are things that fathers present to their sons.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like my mom first instinct was, let me go protect my child. My father's instinct was, no, your son got to learn how to protect himself first. Because later on down the line, he's going to have a wife and kids that he's going to have to protect. You know what I'm saying? And so it's things like that we miss. we're dysfunctional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether we would have
admit it
or not, we're dysfunctional. Without having that other piece, we're missing something.
Yeah. I remember a documentary a long time ago that had it was these elephants coming up dead in Africa. A whole bunch of them just coming up dead, and at first they thought it was what's it called? Poaching. They thought, but it wasn't, because they tusk and stuff was still intact, so nobody was stealing that. But they was coming up dead, and come to find out, it was from a pack of other elephants that had grown up rogue, without male leadership in the pack, and they was just wow. And it was like a symbol in nature, like when you take that away from them, it makes the young males dysfunctional, and they killing each other like they normally wouldn't if they had direction. So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, it's as if God is showing us in nature that there's dysfunction if you break down the family structure. So,
it seemed like it's deliberate too. It seems like there's like I don't know if it's happened at the top level where everybody's like, okay, let's find a way to destroy the families. I don't think there's a meeting that says to destroy family coalition.
Nope.
I don't think it's that. But
I agree.
Collectively, you can see the music pointing a certain direction. Certain music, certain movies, certain culture is pointing a certain direction to say, hey, let's not have a nuclear family. Let's not have a mom and dad. Let's not have them all live in the house together. And that, to me, is destruction. Stuff.
It just seems like destruction makes money. You know what I mean?
How would that make money though? How would that be?
The car wreck that's slowing us down on the freeway that we all got to stop and look to see if we see something crazy or whatever. It's like that. It's like that gets leveraged. That part of us gets taken advantage of, and so the music gets done a certain way. But the music that's being produced, that we're saying, oh man, this is foul, this is crazy. It's being produced because people are consuming it.
Yeah,
so
course,
if people weren't
like I was,
consuming it exactly, then they wouldn't be selling. They'd switch it up. If we all wanted tomorrow, the world woke up and just wanted Nat King Cole, that's exactly what they're gonna sell.
I remember, like, you had to go find NWA. You had to go find 2 Live Crew. You know what I did? I went and found it. They tried their best to keep it away from 12-year-old me, but it was going down no matter what. I go to the swap meet. Somebody was going to sell it to me.
It was a point where they was fighting a parental sticker. Remember that?
Yeah.
They didn't want it to be on there because they felt that it was going to hurt sales,
right?
Which they learned later on did the exact opposite.
Man.
So if that sticker was on it, it was like, bruh, gotta have that right there.
Have that.
That's that real right.
Right. But after the civil rights movement, the whole welfare movement, especially in the urban community, was to destroy the family. Man, because you couldn't be on welfare with a man in the household.
This is what I'm convinced of, Buki. I don't believe it's like he said, some big group or Illuminati or whatever. But I think people have realized that there's money to be made off of dysfunction and of people that don't have structure in their community.
Oh yeah, because
they're gonna need all kind of stuff that you're gonna be able to provide, for them that's gonna benefit you. But it's never going to put them together, and so you just want to.
But if you
dysfunction,
like the association has said, people without fathers in the home are more likely to get involved in criminal activity, drugs, and end up in prison, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So if I take the whole project and telling you, okay, you can have welfare as long as your father's not in the home.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I'm creating, a whole community of people. That's that's going to fill my prisons.
Yep.
Man. That's going to need these drugs, right? And who gains the money off of that? Not the community. It's the people up top, right?
Yep.
So these are the decision makers. So I don't believe that nothing is just like, well, look what happened.
It's an unintended consequence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like no, this is planned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is planned. And not everybody going to have to take the bait. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I've known people that have been in the same situation that made it out and made something of themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the percentage of people who don't is higher than those.
Higher.
So to me, you sound crazy. I'm not going to lie. To me, it sounds crazy that you would think that consequence was intentional. So for me, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying like my crazy is different, and I probably sound just as crazy. So I'll say, okay, fatherlessness was directly impacted by the welfare process. But I think it was an unintended consequence at the local level where the lawmaker was doing his thing. But what makes me sound crazy is sitting above that lawmaker is the devil. And a lot of people don't believe in the devil. But I mean, as believers, we believe we have a real enemy this is not neutral for him. For me, the devil trying to create these fatherless homes and broken dreams, to me, that's intentional. So I don't necessarily attribute it to the legislation like, okay, they doing this on purpose to break up the homes. Mm-hmm. You could be right. It sounds crazy to me, but you could absolutely be right. But I know for a fact we have an enemy who's committed to our destruction. So I'll take it to that, so I don't have to try to wonder who's having meetings in the back.
Well, he can be the author of these meetings, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That.
And that's not to say that's not important.
That's fair.
Some
but
of
I
that
think,
information is
I think we both sound crazy to certain types of people. Like I probably sound crazy talking about some devil, some invisible angel who wants everything to go wrong.
Yeah.
And then to me, I don't lean towards a conspiracy theory. So I'm like, who gets anything out of all of this chaos and carnage? But you could be right. It could be a whole group of people who, like the private prison systems, you could see. Once you privatize prisons, you incentivizing me to put people in jail, and you fill up the jails and get more checks. I can't argue with that.
Yeah. If I make a deal with Congress, say, okay, you give me this, and we keep the jails at 90% full, you get the kickback, right?
Yeah.
So we working together on that, right? So what we going to do to make this work?
All right.
Look at it.
And so in some countries, check this out.
Make
in
the
some
drug
countries,
laws worse.
In some countries, they incentivize the medical markets by incentivizing the doctors by keeping people healthy. So if people are healthy for certain lengths of time and don't need medication and don't meet with it, and they're meeting with you regularly, they're incentivized for doing that. You get money for doing that, right? So you're incentivized for keeping people healthy, when in America we have the reverse.
The reverse.
So we can see how dangerous that is that, they got these drug companies who are giving kickbacks to these doctors who prescribe this, certain medication. You're like, well, that's not legal. And we all know that they figure out ways to incentivize doctors to get locked in. We were watching something recently on Netflix, the one about the opioid, I think. And knowing that they were going to be prescribing this drug that was going to be highly addictive. And some doctors was not with it from the jump. Yeah. Not after it was created and then they found out. They knew it was bad from the beginning. And some doctors wasn't with it, but they still, but that's out here. So we're incentivized to get to the money and walk over anybody getting it, when in some societies you can see them doing the opposite. We're going to incentive, because that's the best interest for you and your family. If you do that, that's the best for everybody. If I do it the other way around, buyer beware. That's the environment you create. You can't just trust it and be like, okay, they're working in my best interest. No, it's like, is that one of the good doctors on the good list? Or is that one of the dudes that be killing people off? And you trying to figure that out through your environment, which sucks.
It's a trip, because when I was listening to some of that music, different people was grabbing the aux cord. We was at a party, and there's different people there, older people over 30, and you got people under 18.
Yeah.
Different people grabbed the aux cord and putting different stuff in there. Man, some of them songs I was listening to, I was just like, man, I know this is what I listened to when I was 12 and 14. I remember. We had the same dark type of content. I remember that. NWA, Two Live Crew, you name it. Too Short, Quick, all that stuff was just foul. Really, really foul, just like the stuff from today. But it just bothered me in a different way, because I felt like this contributed to my dysfunction. Like, this is how I learned how to roll a blunt. This is how I learned what the positions were, sex positions and stuff. Like, this is how I learned, okay, you can have more than one girlfriend. Okay, all right. So I'm not blaming culture. I'm just saying, like, the way that we share information and culture is so captivating. It's so engaging. And I just thought about it like, man, this song is like, we got to get this girl out of here. Whoever that artist was, I remember telling somebody at the domino table, we got to get this girl out of here. I don't know about everybody else, but this girl right here, she got to go. Yeah. She got to go. And I was like, I know I'm feeling like old head, but that's fine. I remember Dolores Tucker back in our day. Dolores Tucker was the first one to be like this. She was the first one to say, this is not good for us as a people. Yeah. And man, we must have drug her so hard. We hated that lady. Had her on T-shirts. They was making songs about her, and I remember like that old lady just trying to help us not kill ourselves.
Nah, but it's the truth, especially when with us growing up, BET and all that. Like we got a lot of information from Rap City,
BET After Dark.
Yeah, BET After, and most of us like we were talking about without a father in the home and this and that.
Right.
Porn was our first introduction to sex.
Yeah, that was normalized. Like that was it was almost, porn was like a rite of passage. Like you had to seen it. Oh, you ain't seen her yet. Yeah. And it was somewhere around you all the time because we're talking pre-internet, and so it was in print. So you had to somebody had to have it.
Penthouse, Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
You know, looking through the static lines on the cable box, you know.
Trying to get through them lines, man. Trying to turn the channel back and forth to see if you get a click.
Yeah.
Man, we was horrible.
Trying to get that, like you said, that picture to unscramble. Come on, unscramble. Give me 10 seconds of unscramble, please.
Yeah. and it screwed us up.
It was horrible. Man. It did. It planted seeds to put us in the wrong path. And by the time we got into high school, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was over by then.
You know,
I was a menace by the time we got to that.
It was horrible to the point like now, fast forward now, and we all have, you know, daughters. Everybody sitting at this table got a daughter.
Right.
And it's like it made me hyper protective as a result because I knew who I was. And the sad part is like I'm really trying to booby trap my daughter's world from a guy who was like her dad when he was young. And I'm like, it was we was laughing at men's meeting the other morning. Like I was talking about how I was kind of at a certain point neglecting going back to my high school reunion just because of the person I was back then. And Bobby was like, just go with a sign that just says, "I'm sorry, y'all. Just show up.
Yes.
Start there." You know, but you know, it's the point in bringing that up is I remember how I was, and therefore it has made me very, you know, protective now as a father. It's kind of like there's something about that's not fair, but very helpful. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I don't know. I think I did a decent job. Of course, you can't protect them from everything.
Right.
You know,
but you was there. See, we all knew our dad. We all know our dads at this point. I don't remember, Jay, how early on you met your dad, but I lived with my dad a couple times, kind of like Buki.
Yeah.
I don't know if you lived with your dad early.
I didn't live with him until later on, till like maybe in like mid-20s, maybe tried for like a year or so.
Okay.
I think that, but prior to that, it was just I saw him on the summers and didn't, you know, see him that much. After a while, there was a season where we didn't.
But you'll spend the summer. You spent the summer
but
with him.
Yeah, but little growing up,
yeah,
you know, knowing him, never felt like I didn't know him in that sense.
So I think it's some people that have like they don't even know they dad. Like he either passed or he just was never around or mom's never told him. Like those are some strange things. I never had that. So I feel like I did a little bit better just knowing like, okay, my dad loves me. You know what I mean? He may not be that good of a human, but he loves me. He don't have much to offer, but at least I know this ain't about me. This is his problem that he has with the world. He doesn't know how to function. And my dad was an atheist too, so he didn't have any kind of like spiritual awareness or spiritual support or nothing like that. I think he lost his first wife, my brother's mom, to cancer. And then my mom said he got caught up in heroin and he never recovered from heroin. Like every time I saw him, he was strung out or trying to figure that out. And all that to say, it's interesting that even if you know that it's not your fault that things didn't work out with your dad, it's still no way to get around the fact that I'm still dealing with certain levels of dysfunction just from not having him there. So I'm saying you being there is almost like, to me, the winning shot.
Nah,
even if we fumble, you there every day.
Yeah.
She's never your daughter's never awakened
with
one day of her life, and you wasn't where you were supposed to be, whether it was out of town on purpose or at home.
For sure.
That's just different than our experience. We don't know that. We don't know what that's like. Our daughters have never had a day where they didn't know where their dad was or why he was out of town or whatever.
Yeah. And that's dope.
You see what I'm saying? So that's different. That's going to be totally different for your daughters, your sons, whatever. That's totally different than what we had. But I'm with you, Bookie. I think we are jacked up in so many ways, man.
Yeah. And
no excuse. Yeah. I think it's my fault, but I do see that some of that stuff is definitely part of it.
It's part of the dysfunction too is like we're all married. You know, we've been married for years and years. Mm-hmm. But it took a long time just to understand how to love my wife properly.
Absolutely. I'm still learning.
Yeah, we still learning.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, my wife would tell you right now, Buki still learning.
Yes, my wife would tell definitely after the other morning.
But like even emotionally and even having those non-sexual intimate moments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff we do is because what we've seen. Mm-hmm. And if you ain't seen it, but how else you gonna know?
I got a question about being married. You leading right where I want to go next. Do y'all? I don't know how to put this, but do y'all still chase y'all woman? Let's listen to this. This is I like how he put it. I just want to know if you guys
chase booty. If I got to chase my wife, then I'm gonna have to keep chasing her to keep her.
That's right.
You men that chase women, the moment you start chasing that woman, you're going to have to keep chasing her.
Keep it up.
That keep her. You're going to have to keep it up.
That's right.
And once she see you chasing her, she going to deliberately do things that make you run her down.
That's right.
I chase God.
Amen.
I won't never chase a woman long as I'm black.
No.
And as far as I know, God ain't changing my color.
What's the preacher's name? What's that dude's name again? James, what's his name?
That's Geno Jennings.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure I be forgetting his name.
Man.
He's wild. No, he started with you don't chase booty.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I thought that was hilarious. But essentially, what I did take from it is he's saying that we shouldn't pursue our women and chase our women down.
See how confused you sound, because you don't know what that's like. Because you be out taking your wife out to dinners and sunsets, and you be planning vacations, and you be planning.
I'm not perfect.
So you don't know what he's talking about. You're not going to know what he's talking about because you don't do what he's saying. We all are planning birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's. Listen. You buying perfume and chocolate and flowers.
No, I
and
need
if
to
that's
do more
chasing,
than that. That's really I need to grow in that area. I really honestly I need to do more. But yes, I've done things, and yes, but I do. There's a part that I just fully disagree.
You can't relate.
How do you not chase it?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Buki, how are you not chasing it?
My wife wouldn't be chased.
Exactly. So why does your
somebody get in trouble for not chasing like I'm supposed to chase?
That's all I'm about to say. The confusion lies with me is that the trouble lies in not chasing.
Yeah. The trouble lies in not chasing.
If I listen to this dude, this is going to be horrible. This is like
being complacent in your marriages would cause issues.
Exactly. And not chasing and just sitting around like, you know what? I'm going to play video games.
So watch out for anybody who can say something about all men and all women, right? That's already red flag number one. Red flag. Watch out for anybody who just says, no woman wants to work. No woman wants to be chased. No woman should be this. No man should be that. Like, watch out for anybody like that. We don't live in a world that's that black and white. And this dude, he be giving a business to a lot of these false prophets, so I appreciate that. But he also go left on stuff like this.
Oh yeah, I've
come on, man.
Why left on a lot?
Hey,
and you mentioned this one.
This is crazy.
This was another one. Just gonna throw this one in here. You like this one?
No woman on this planet. I don't.
Oh like no! Music. Wait, play the serious music though.
Planet wants to have to go to work. Let me say it slowly.
The music always.
No woman on this planet, none. I've been to 87 countries, and every woman is the same. They don't want to have to go to work. Why? They're not built to have to support nothing. They came to help. And so the devil's strategy is to move the man. And now the woman got to carry the weight. And she's not built to carry the weight. So he said, I will return the hearts of the fathers back to the children.
Yeah, so apologies to all the single women, fam. This is just ridiculous that we keep trying to demonize people being single. The point of the planet is not to be married. Can we get over that? You're not always going to be a married woman, a married man. Yeah. That is not part of everybody's story.
Nope.
Why are we? Every woman, nothing. There's no sentence is going to be true with every woman, unless we talking about sin nature or something. And every man, every woman sentences ain't usually the best sentences.
It's too many stories out there, and there's too many things God is doing with too many different lives. And there's no cookie cutter. There's a way to, I think, be married and serve the Lord, and there's a way to be single and serve the Lord, and the Bible's clear about it. So is one better than the other? Nope. And you can't argue it, and there's no way to argue that one way is better than the other. You can probably argue harder, like you was doing the other night, James, that it's probably best not to be married, like Paul was trying to argue, because it can lead to more distraction maybe in your life, essentially, is what he's saying when it just comes to serving the Lord, which is the main purpose of life, and that can be accomplished married or not married. So
we have so much stuff backwards, man. In our culture, we have so much stuff backwards. So the scriptures clearly say that it's better to be single because you can be undivided and focus on the things of God.
I give you that.
It says that, and it says that married people have to think about the things of the world. You have to think about how to please your wife. The wife has to think about how to please her husband. He doesn't demonize it. He's just saying, like, in the grand scheme of taking care of the kingdom, the single person can get more done. He's not asking us. He's telling us the single person can get more done. So he says something extreme like, it's better not to even touch a woman. And then he goes on to say, but do whatever God got for you. If you got a wife, you don't need to be unmarried. If you married, don't try to get out of it.
See, Paul, see me right
He's
there.
Balanced. Paul is balanced.
Paul, I'll be like, whoa.
What part?
Better not to touch a woman. Whoa. That's me after I'm married, though. I'm already married. And I was like, I hear you, Paul. I hear you preaching, but whoa. Yeah. I touched my woman last night, and I'm going to tell you right now, I only thought it was a great thing. So right now, I'm confused, man. I'm just being honest. I'm just on this part. But other than that, I'm rocking with you. Then I would have just faded back.
But wasn't Paul talking about it's better not to touch her, so later on you won't be burning with a desire to touch again?
I've heard it taught like that. I'll be honest.
Because we weren't created to be
right off the head. I can't
just single individuals like that.
It's nothing wrong with being single.
No, there's nothing wrong with being single.
Nothing wrong with being single, but full stop though. That's what we need to start doing. It's nothing wrong with being single, full stop. And now if we want to have another conversation, we can go on and have another conversation about how wonderful marriage is. Yeah. I love my marriage. But I'm not going to act like it's the only thing just because it's normative. It's not the only thing in the kingdom. And I think what he's doing, my only point is that every man this, every woman that. Stop with those statements. Your Bible doesn't agree with anything.
So this is the first conversation today where I think I'm going to have to disagree with both of y'all.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go.
Because when you listen to the actual snippet that you played, he said, he haven't met a woman that wants to have to work.
I hear you. I felt that. I heard that.
Got it.
I think that's the key word in that sentence. Because I'm a man. I'm not a woman. And I don't want to have to work. You know what I'm saying? I would rather just wake up and do my thing and have a bank account full. Me and my wife can do whatever we want. My kids can do whatever we want. I don't want to have to go up and go to Department of Public Social Services every morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like he was saying, a woman's not created to have to do that either. She's not even created to do that. She's created to be our helpmate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the way society have had it, now we both got to work. My wife don't want to have to get up and go to work and teach kinder every morning, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that.
And so this is where I agree with him in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just a call to men to try to, just be that provider, because a lot of people was like, oh, this is 50, but we live in a day and age where we're almost forced to walk side by side just to get through life, especially in California.
Yeah, I was about to
you talking
say,
about two people working,
two people working, trying to
make
make ends meet. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Because not all of us is making $200,000 a year.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what it kind of costs to be successful in a big city now,
especially in California, where houses when the cheapest houses in an urban area is $600,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
many mansions and a lot of. That's a mini mansion.
I know, Bookie. I be on Zillow.
Yeah.
And I be looking like this is
so
crazy.
So when he say have to work, you know what I'm saying? I feel that because not a woman want to have to work.
So we know there's some
and
dope stuff in the
I'm with you.
background, but
I'm with
come
you
on,
that.
man, it's got to be a better way to.
articulate
I'm not trying
that.
to not trying to nitpick. I really think what he's articulating is more than just what you're saying. I think you trying to give him credit for what he's trying to say, but I think you're assuming he's saying something that
I'm
you
just
would
going off
say.
of that snippet. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't hear the whole sermon or whatever. I'm just
Yeah.
listen off that snippet.
Yeah, I want to be fair to him too, but I think what you mean is not what he's saying. I think sometimes we defend people for what we think they would say if we were being reasonable. You sound like you being reasonable. But what he's saying sounds way more extreme. I don't
know. Jay, did you hear the whole sermon or something? Like, because what I just heard, I couldn't go against what I just heard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like I said, even as a man, I don't want to have to go to work every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just the struggle of going to work is part of the curse.
And then you think about it.
That's true for sinful people though, but he's specifying something about a woman and he means it in a woman. He's talking about a woman. He's not just talking about a human.
Yeah.
Because every human could say that we don't like the curse or the fall of, but
but
we don't
think,
like the
I think
results.
his argument is that like the man in the leadership role.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he's from just that snippet. That's what I'm getting out of it. He's talking about a man in the leadership role where you saying, oh, this woman have to work because this man isn't doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like appreciate it. Because I appreciate my wife even more because even at this point in stage where we're at in our life, my wife is working and is helping the family out. You know what I'm saying?
All the solid women I've ever met don't mind helping their family out. I've never met a solid woman ever that a woman I respect, like your mom, my mom, your mom. I mean, I've never met a solid woman who wasn't willing to work and do something to help out if needed. We don't know any solid women like that.
Yeah.
All the women that don't want to help out, we all look at them sideways. Like, why would you just want me to just kill myself and you just gonna sit there?
Because the Proverbs 31 woman had a hustle too, right?
Exactly.
A few hustles.
And it didn't sound like she hated any of the stuff that she was doing.
Right.
But and then I was saying this when we were talking about it the other night as well, is that like, what do you say to all the professional women that love to do what they do? Like there's a veterinarian that loves what she does. You're gonna tell her that she doesn't like what she's doing? Like that's
so here's
crazy.
what I've had to say to him in our church community. I'm sorry that people still talk like this. I'm sorry. Please don't hold that. Please don't hold that against all of us.
But you stuck on that single thing. I think that's what you stuck on that like single versus marriage thing. But
okay,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not on that part. You know what I'm saying?
Even our professional women that are married who are in their dream career and they still are raising their kids. Their kids are still doing well, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
Apologies to them too. Like we got to come off of this, and I care about this because it makes us look like idiots. I think that a lot of the stuff that we doing makes us lose credibility, and not just credibility outside.
Yeah.
We're losing credibility with our daughters and all the people who are inside watching us agree with some of this foolishness. And I don't think you're agreeing with him. I think you're hearing what you want to hear about what you think he's trying to say. But I think the way I hear you talk is very different than what I think he's trying to drive home. I don't think he's trying to drive home something healthy. I think what you're saying, like normally a woman wants this, normally a man does that. Normally we need to encourage our guys to step up a little bit. I think all that is true. But I think what he's getting at is he's trying to tell you something about the world based on the Bible, because that's how he gets down. I mean,
I don't even know who he is.
That's Miles Monroe. I think he passed away.
Oh, that's who that is, Miles Monroe.
But I mean,
no woman on this planet, I don't care what she tells you, no woman on this planet wants to have to go to work.
That's the part, right?
Let me say it
I've seen
slowly.
people tell me to my face,
woman
I could
on
never
this-
stay at home. I've had ladies tell me to my face, I could never stay at home all day and just take care of the house. I could never do that.
That's why
I've heard them tell me that, and they are not playing. They are serious. Like, I could not do that. And it sounds like, to me, he's trying to demonize that, like, oh, then you're just sinful. I'm putting words in his mouth, so my fault. I'm putting words in his mouth. But that's what the logical outcome of what he's trying to say is for me.
Well, I know professional women.
Yeah.
And successful professional women.
Yeah.
That been to school 6-8 years and love their job. You know what I'm saying? Love their career. But given the chance to do that just willingly and not have to do it, I think they would prefer that. Even I know I have an aunt that's a hairdresser. She loved doing hair. But if she was in a situation where she was married and had a husband taking care of her, I'm quite sure she would still do hair. But it's different saying I have to go do this here in order to pay my rent, pay my mortgage, this and that. See, that's a different life.
Okay.
When you have to do this.
I can understand that perspective.
Right.
I totally get it. We just want to be careful in making it sound like if a woman does desire something else other than what he's saying, being at home, she doesn't have to be demonized for it.
Yeah, no.
I'm real nervous about people who have a pulpit, who have a following, who are pastors, who are in charge, and we hang on their every word, and they start saying stuff like no woman wants to work, no woman wants to have to work, no man should be chasing a wife. Like, I'm nervous about these people, bro. I want these people out of here. I want these dudes out of here. I think that we need to clean house. And that's why I love social media, because it gives us all a chance to kind of crowdsource what we're done with. And it's a whole group of people. We're done with these dudes. We're done with all of these blanket statements and these half-hearted assessments of a very complex planet, a very complex human race. I don't think they're doing justice to what the scriptures describe. It's so much balance. It's so much gray area in the scriptures. I don't see it, man. I don't see. I know what he's getting at, and I think I agree more than what you trying to say, Buki, than what he's actually saying. I think I agree with what you trying to say, not what he's saying.
Well,
these dudes are saying the same thing. These two clips is like, for me, is a big deal, because I'm hearing people look at us like, do all y'all Christians have these myopic thought processes where y'all are just tunnel vision? Y'all don't see nothing else. Y'all ain't have y'all met anybody?
Yeah, that's how.
Or y'all just in y'all little bubbles, and this is y'all just decided the whole planet agrees with y'all. Because y'all need to come out y'all bubbles. Yeah. It's a whole big world out there. And I don't think they giving us credit for how diverse a thought we actually are as believers. That they don't speak for me. For sure, they don't speak for me.
Well, as you say that, how about this thought from this lady? How about this?
Handle on this church hurt thing. It is straight from hell. It is straight from hell. I'm sorry if there was an abuse to you in another congregation. I'm sorry if there was a leader who mishandled his or her authority. But most of the time, the hurt that you're talking about is you have been offended because somebody has called you on your laziness. Somebody has called you on your disobedience. Somebody has called you on your rebellion and on your disunity. Church, we've got to get over it so we can stop taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps backward. The devil is wreaking havoc and hell in a nation while we stay offended because we have church hurt. Come on.
Well, I don't listen to women preachers. What y'all think?
Yeah, I think that's why.
Dang.
No, let me stop. Let me stop right there. I'm sorry, y'all. Nah, but yeah, she's totally false. She's totally wrong about that.
Yeah, I don't think that's cool. What was wrong about what she said?
Yeah.
I don't.
Everybody church hurt just don't come from disobedience.
Yeah, because what she's saying is, okay, it ain't all about y'all being hurt. It's just that some of y'all got called out on y'all mess, and now y'all don't. Now y'all got a problem with the church. Do y'all feel that way? I don't know. I've been in church. Do I feel that way when I'm called out on my mess? And I'm thinking, oh man, let's get church hurt. Nah, bump this.
No, there's faulty human beings in the church. There's faulty human beings that's running the church.
Yeah.
There are faulty human beings that are pastors in some of these churches.
Listen, man, we are losing credibility every day letting these people speak for us. This chick does not speak for me.
Not at all.
She cannot tell somebody who actually got hurt by we're supposed to be known by how we love each other. That was one of the markers of how we were going to be able to tell, oh, that's a real believer. Yeah. Look how they love each other. Look how they get along. Look how they take care of each other. And we're supposed to be known by that. But so many of us have been Man, we've been through it's 3-day weekends for some of the stuff that I've been through. They got 3-day weekend conferences for some of the stuff I've been through at church. I mean, for real, I'm serious.
Yeah.
But the idea that you're gonna minimize what I do over the pulpit you're gonna minimize what happened to me over the pulpit during your sermon, and tell me that most of the time it's me overreacting from a sinful state. Like, come on, what kind of do y'all gaslight much?
But what about all the videos of the deconversions and this thing happened horrible at church and this thing happened horribly at church?
Yeah.
What about all of that, James? Isn't that a reality? It was a whole season of that, on my timeline, everybody, leaving the faith. And a lot of us, we plugged into the Christian hip hop community.
Yeah.
And we were seeing people, now, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, or I'm an atheist, or I'm just a cussing heathen now. That's what I am.
There's even a way to
shout out to all the people who have real church hurt. Like, I'm sorry that she said that on behalf
she comes
of
along
all the people who really wanted to tell the truth. That is not the truth, and that's not us. I'm sorry that she's saying that out loud and gets to say that. That's the other part of social media. Everybody gets a voice, but what's not cool is to try to make something like that genuinely absolutely is happening the primary thing we should be thinking about. So no longer are we going to think about how we are held accountable for how we treat people. Now we're going to assume, if we listen to her, now we're supposed to assume that person who says that they've been hurt is just, they don't want to get challenged. That's what's from the devil to me. If it's something coming from the devil, she said some of this stuff coming from the devil. That's what's coming from the devil. If it's anything coming out of hell, that smells like the one coming out of hell right there. Because what you're doing to the cats below us is telling them, don't worry about how we molest y'all or any of that stuff. Like, we're for God. We're for God. So don't worry about that. Just go ahead and take whatever abuse we give you. No diddy. Just sit through it. You know what I'm saying? And just be okay with it, because Jesus is love. And that's not cool, man.
I think that even go back to our last episode when we talked about church discipline. It's a proper way to handle these situations.
Yeah.
Even if I've done something, it's a proper way to address my situation.
Yeah.
And not embarrass me over the pulpit.
It is. It is. I've seen it done recently, and it was wonderful. Of course, it wasn't done over the pulpit. It was done in a closed church meeting, and it was done with gentleness and respect. And, there were some aspects, unfortunately, my immaturity would not let me get past, and I had to get my giggle on certain things. But overall, how it was handled was wonderful. I'm like, nobody was drugged through the mud, and you walked away not with your nose in the air, but more so feeling sorry for where the person was and wanting to see somebody come, to repentance and stop going down a certain path that we know is not, going to end well. So,
and listen, I just want to say one more thing. Like, I talked to a lot of cats that's under, 20, 25, whatever.
Yeah.
Talked to some college kids today. I don't think they're going to go for too much more of this, man. I'm telling you, I don't think they're going to go for too much more of this. I don't think they're going to sit back and let preachers gaslight us just because they have the microphone. I don't think it's going to work. And I think a lot of churches are going to die if they continue to have this type of mentality where the leadership never has to answer for anything. But anytime something is going to be brought up, it's going to be your immaturity, not the leadership's. It's your immaturity, not the leadership's.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I haven't been discipled. Well, that's your immaturity, not the leadership's. Oh, well, how you going to discipline me now? We never even talked about this. Oh, no, that's your immaturity, not the leadership's. I don't think most people that really want to serve God, what do I know? But I just don't think that the kids coming up, 20-somethings and under, I don't think they're going to sit through too much more of this. I think they're just going to find somebody else who has a little more awareness. Because this is a young group. Whatever y'all want to say about them, this group is self-aware. They have more awareness of some things than we did. They are seeing some of this pimp. Like, the pimp hand on this girl is strong. Her pimp hand is strong. The way she can turn that out and make it, the victim is the one who's wrong now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a strong pimp hand, bro. That's how they do pimp culture. That's pimp culture right there.
Yeah, and they have access.
And that's
to
Paula
more.
White, by the way. She knows pimp culture very well.
Yeah,
That's Paula White. She knows pimp culture,
and she knows how to move heavy-handedly too, like that, and that's whatever. All right, well, that's our time. I think we've said enough here today. We won't move forward. What y'all got coming up? What should we let people know what's going on with other ventures that you're doing or whatever, socials, whatever. It's that point of plugging what's happening.
Yeah, check me out at James No Games. I'll be causing more controversy and talking real tough on all social media handles. James No Games. Look for me.
Bookie98. You know where to find me. Instagram, Facebook.
Hey, well, we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Continue to hang out with us. Gerald with a J. You can find me on Facebook the most. That's where I'm most active with the old people. And that's JERROLD with a J. All that spelled normally. And J is JAY. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. I'm really bad at this. We want to get better. Hope we get better together. Love y'all.